Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.
Ho 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 ho.
Everyone
I
take
don't have a
drink
beard
of
for Christmas this
energy.
year.
No, you don't, Mr. Amish man.
It still doesn't look Amish.
You looked Amish the other day before you gave yourself a mohawk.
Before I cut the hair off.
Yeah, if you didn't cut your hair off, you'd be Amish. And we have to call you Jebediah number 2, because Andrew's Jebediah number 1.
Jebediah 2? Why Jebediah 2?
Because Andrew's Jebediah number 1.
Why is he Jebediah number 1?
Because he is. He's
I want to be Jebediah number 1.
No, you can't be Jebediah number 1. He's Jebediah number 1.
Then I'm going to be Jebediah Alpha.
That's no, no. No. You could be Jebediah. You could be Jebediah.
What?
Jebiah.
Jebiah?
And he's Jebediah. And I'll be Dennis, because that's actually an Amish name.
Hi! Happy
Hi.
almost Christmas. Turkey Day's over. Holiday season's here.
Still have a month, but yeah, happy Merry Birthmas.
I don't care.
Happy Merry Birthmas.
It was Christmas 6 months ago.
It's Christmas.
You mean 12 months ago?
No.
No, I mean 6 months ago.
No, it wasn't.
See, there's the break. There's the first half of the year, and then there's Christmas.
That's not how that works.
That's how it works for me.
Well, that explains a lot. Is that why you started buying stuff so often? Like this last half of the year? That explains it all, Jason. Now we know the answer.
It makes so much sense.
Every day he comes home with something new. Including our new arcade machine.
Put it like right in the middle of all of our...
Can't hear you. Keeps cutting
So
out.
you could just put it up here in the middle of all of our cameras.
Put what?
The arcade cabinet, just a picture. You go right there.
What picture?
The one we're gonna take, so he can edit it in there. You guys know how this works.
Who's gonna take it?
You got the newer phone, sir.
Me?
Who?
Yeah.
I can take it. I don't care. Semantics.
Samantha.
Who?
Emmy.
Exactly. So, as you can tell, we're here for another
There's an elephant in the
podcast.
room here.
Jason's here, Andrew's here, and our friend Kevin is not. I'm Dennis, though. And I don't want to... I wasn't going to say much about it, but we talked about it before we started. But Kevin reached out to us and just has some things he's got to deal with, so you might not see him in as many things as you already weren't, really. But
Yeah.
the bottom line is he was not going to be here for a little bit. Hopefully. He'll be back one day, but if not, that's his
He's taking
choice.
some time. Dealing with some mental health, spending time with his family.
It's the holidays.
His holiday thing.
The most depressing time of year. Told that to Andrew yesterday. I hate the Christmas time.
Seasonal depression is a thing.
Yep.
It's a very real,
I've already got a 12
uncomfortable
date.
thing.
What? You got a 12
I've already
gauge?
got-
That's what I heard.
I'm ready to defend ourselves.
Against depression?
Fighting depression was...
No.
No.
That is not the
no.
correct way to fight depression.
That's not how you
And we're
fight
going to
depression.
leave it at that.
No, but yeah.
Not how you know.
bad, kids.
Yeah, he just, Kevin might not be here.
You know,
That's
life.
the bottom line. And, we told him that, yeah, if he's here, he's here. If he's not, he's not. Let him.
We got his back. He'll be
Yeah.
back eventually.
Squad got his back. And, if we
Well,
really need
I
to, we can
cannot
get,
apparently flip a coin.
we can get
It just
Neri on to
goes
replace
behind
him for a little bit again. That's a joke. He's irreplaceable.
me. I was
Jason's
about to say,
replaceable.
the man just now tells us he's going to take some time off, and we're like, that's cool. We can replace you.
Yeah. Jason, though, he's replaceable. His brother
yeah.
Noah is really cool.
There's other make pieces.
Brian, though,
Hey, at least we can
We're
say we know
all
it
we're
right
all
now.
terrible though. I mean,
yeah. We'll actually get his dad on here. We'll just replace Jason with his dad.
I'm insulted.
Having a podcast with his dad would be great.
We would never be able to
you'd
talk.
never run into silence because he would just constantly talk. You'd get so many fish stories.
But that would be awesome.
Not like literal fish stories. I mean, some of them would be literal fish stories, but you just get all the tales of his life as he's retold them 10,000 times, and they've gotten more and more dramatic every time.
That's what makes them fun.
It's like that fish he caught in the 80s was this big, and now it's like
Now it's a shark.
2021, and the
It's a
fish was like this
megalodon.
big.
He's like, yeah, I
The
caught
world's
myself.
biggest bass is what
He's
he
like,
caught.
I caught myself a bass back in the 80s, and then 10 years later, you ask him, so what kind of fish did you catch again? It was a megalodon.
Yeah.
In freshwater? Yes.
He's a freshwater megalodon. That's why nobody sees him anymore. They ended up in the deep lakes. And
But yeah.
yeah,
Go on.
we're listening
Megalodons.
intently.
So I don't like where my new screen is, by the way. I put like when I got my desk back, it's all like I'm looking up to look at my
Yeah.
computer screen.
Yeah, we kind of noticed that.
Which is cool because now it's getting rid of the double chin, but
I just want you to be aware that we're all looking down on you right now.
I'm looking down on you. Like,
Actually, you're pretty eye level for me.
yeah, you're
I
next to
look
me.
down on Jason.
Yeah, I look down at Jason too. Anyone else want pizza?
Yes.
Well, the only food I had was leftovers from last night, so
You know what we have though? We have an air fryer and chicken nuggies
I'll take some chicken nuggies.
that we can't eat all
You'll
of
take some
because
chicken nuggies.
we still need some of those for a hot video. Some spicy content. But we can always
Maybe
buy
that'll
dinosaur
put some
chicken
chicken
nuggies if
nuggies.
we need to. Those nuggies were kind of like soft when I baked them one night. I was like, these are not. These might have had freezer burn. These kind of got weird.
These things do not work as advertised.
Yeah, Jason bought balls to stick to ceilings, and they don't work very well.
They don't fall ever. They just stay on the ceiling.
But
Well, I won't say ever. I was throwing them above my bed earlier the day I got them, and like I ended up falling asleep, and it just started raining. So I'm just laying in bed, just... but it was like hours later.
that would have freaked me out because that would have woke me up. I would have been like, "What is happening? Who is
Oh,
dropping bombs?"
it did wake me up, or one of them did it. Like, and I'm like, what?
Like, who's dropping bombs on me?
And then I found, like, I looked up and there was only like two of them left on the ceiling. One of them hit me in the face, and the other ones were just laying somewhere else in the bed.
Oh yeah, I'm tired today.
Yeah, me too.
Like I woke up. That's what I did. I woke up.
Finally got the DMV to do their stuff right.
Yeah.
And
your
actually,
CDL finally?
this time it was semi-pleasant. Like the people that I ended up dealing with actually helped and did. It wasn't like the last two times I've been that everything's been confusing and annoying, and I've been looked at like I'm the problem.
So do you
When
finally
I
have your
can't get any
CDL, or-
information. I've got the permit. I've got that was what I was trying to do. Is I was just get it. So you have an hour per test. One test, the biggest test is like 50 questions. The other two tests are like 20 questions.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest test, I passed it in less than 20 minutes. I passed it in like 15 minutes. The smaller tests, I passed each of them in less than 10 minutes. And I still spent 3 different trips and probably a total of 12 or 13 hours at the DMV.
Yeah.
For what amounted to less than an hour of testing and waiting for them to print the cards. Like
government.
I hate the DMV. I hate the DMV.
I didn't have that bad of an experience when I got my license.
It's because
Yeah.
you were in North Carolina. You were in
No, I was in
nowhere.
Pompano.
Oh, I don't know.
I literally went in, stood in line for like 20 minutes, went and said, "Hey, I'm getting my license." They're like, "Go take the test over there. It's like a hour-long test." Finished that test in like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I take that back. They forgot about me in the parking lot. So I sat in my car for like 3 hours waiting for someone to tell me to start the test.
Yeah. No. On par for what especially the Florida DMV does.
Well, they saw me sitting there.
It wasn't that bad. I mean, they only forgot about me in the parking lot in my car for 3 hours.
They saw me
They're
sitting
looking
out there because they're like there was like a line of people they were testing, and I was supposed to be next at some point, like 9:50. I think I was done with everything at the DMV, or I would have been. and I'm sitting out in the car, and they just look at me a couple times. My grandpa got out of the car to stretch, like, get back in your car, sir, you'll be next, or so and so, or we're not going to test you if you're out of your car. So he gets back in, and then he keeps getting out. I'm starting to think that maybe he's the problem. And then my grandmother comes by because he has to go to the bathroom, and I'm like, okay, cool. And then finally my grandpa goes, how's this work? He asks one of the lady, and she's like, oh, we're just testing them down the line. He goes, well, he's been in the middle of like every car around him that's been chosen. He's been out here since 9:50. It's now 12:50. And they're like, oh my gosh, we're so sorry. We didn't know you were here for the test. I'm like, I held my papers out the window just to like wave them around a bit to see if you guys would notice me. And yeah, they tested me, finished in like 5 minutes. And then I went upstairs, got my license, drove home. Like,
I'm just imagining is like they're in the office, they see paperwork, like, who's this dentist guy? Jill? Who's this dentist guy?
No, they don't.
I forgot him.
The paperwork doesn't move once it reaches that point. It just sits there and waits for somebody to come back and sign it.
Well, no, the paperwork, most of the paperwork is in my hand. Like the testing material, you hand it to them and they put it on their clipboard, and then they test you, and then they hand it back to you after they sign it. Then you go upstairs.
Yeah, they make you do their job.
Yeah. But because of COVID, they call you on the phone. You have to have an adult with you that sits in the car next to you. And they call you on the phone and watch you drive around the parking lot, and then you're done. You go upstairs, fill out the rest of your paperwork,
Really?
Take your picture, and leave. Yeah.
So if you can drive up and down a lane without running into people, you get your license.
Pretty much.
That's
Welcome to
Florida
Florida.
license now.
Welcome to Florida.
That explains a lot.
So I drove.
I surprised my instructor way back when I got my license, because I was always taught that you should never have to look over your seat, but you have to look behind to back up. You have to you can do your rolls and stuff. Never have to look behind. Because if you can't even from your mirrors, you need to readjust everything.
Yeah.
So I'm doing the test. They have me go down the road, and they have me back up, and I back all the way back down the road. And they have me park. What are you laughing at? I missed something.
What'd you miss?
I don't know.
Just turned into a robot for a second, and Andrew started laughing.
I know it was an ADD story, and you guys weren't actually interested.
No, I was trying to listen, and then you just go, and then you go, and I'm like, what is happening?
There might be something a little wrong with the internet right now.
Oh, what was that?
Well, I mean, you've been clipping in and out for all the videos for us. I don't know. You.
I've been fine with Andrew.
It's been both.
You have been clipping out. We don't.
For me,
hear
you guys are perfectly
points.
fine all the time.
It's been
but
both.
Also, that's also my mic. My mic doesn't always pick up certain things. I've changed settings recently that actually make it where you hear me breathe now.
It's doing it right now.
Yeah. Well, we heard
every other syllable we just lost.
We heard breathe.
That's weird because on Discord it's showing that I'm still talking. So I don't know.
We're not hearing it.
I hear you guys.
But no, what I was saying is, I just backed all the way down an aisle, and I'm talking Walmart length aisle. I just backed all the way down the aisle without turning my head, and she's like, you know, I'm like, I'm just looking at my mirrors, right? That's all I need. I mean, she's like, well, you're okay to look behind you. We encourage you looking behind you so you know where you're going. I'm like, oh, I saw where I was going. It's like, oh,
there's still things you miss, but
huh?
There's still things you don't see in the mirrors.
Not if you have your mirrors adjusted, right?
Yeah, I don't. I can see my blind spot with my mirrors. I still turn and look sometimes.
If you have your mirrors adjusted correctly, proper correctly, you have that much of a blind spot where it's just this little sliver in there, which means that between your peripheral. Hey, it fell. That means between a slight turn of the head, you'll be able to see everything from your rear bumpers up to your doors.
Yeah.
You should never have to turn your head more than this to see what your mirrors can't see.
Yeah, there are times where just to be safe, especially around nighttime, I do turn my head to look. But other than that, my mirrors are adjusted now to the point that I can see
Now,
anyone to my left
like
or right.
my truck, I have extra mirrors and stuff to make sure that I can kind of minimize those blind spots. But with the big trucks and stuff, yes, you will always have a blind spot.
Yeah.
There will always be some extended piece that you cannot see it. And it's usually not quite the back corner. So it's like a half a car length from the back corner is where I've seen a lot of them. And then you can fit a whole car in that spot where they can't be seen.
Huh.
Which is why, like, if you're ever riding alongside a truck, don't ride by their rear corner. Either stay a half a car length behind their trailer on the one side or get up and pass them.
Yeah.
Like, if you stay in that area, you have a very good chance of being completely unseen and getting some rear trailer tires driven over your hood because you're sitting in the blind spot. Nobody can see you.
See, my test, I only failed one thing. I got everything else right. And that was the stupid 3-point turn because I didn't use blinkers.
I made sure to pass that part of my test. The only thing I missed was having my tires straight in a parking spot because my lady that tested me was speaking Spanish, and I'm an English-speaking man. And my grandmother was even looking like she's not allowed to talk to you in the car. Like, you're not, if they hear that person's voice, you fail. So my grandma at the end of the test goes, I don't even know what she said. I don't even know how you passed. I'm like, I just guessed. I'm like, I passed a Spanish test apparently in English. And the only thing I failed on was making sure my tires were straight.
Yeah, it's funny to think that they thought you needed a translator.
Well, no, she was speaking to me in English, but she was so broken up English that it was like she was just speaking Spanish.
She was speaking Spanglish.
It was just Spanish.
Where it's like a mix of
Like, it was not English. It was just Spanish. Like, there's a lot of people at our church that speak Spanish and they're broken up English, and they're audible and understandable. This was not. This was like when she was saying do the 3-point turn, she's like, I'm like, what? What? I'm assumed. I even looked at my grandma. I'm like, 3? I heard Tress, and I'm like, that's 3, I think.
Yep. I'm just glad they don't make you parallel park anymore.
I know how to do that. I knew how to do that before I even.
Oh no, I can parallel park.
Was legally
it's just
supposed to drive.
stupid.
Yeah. I don't know. People in Florida are also just idiots, which adds to the fun of driving.
Go on.
Huh?
All the important words were gone from this.
All we heard was
it was just the people in Florida
People in Florida are just all idiots.
Yeah, all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Florida man.
Which makes everything fun.
Actually, honestly, it's more the out of state drivers that I have issue with.
Yeah. It could. That was me that time that lagged, nothing else.
That one we got. That's normal.
Yeah. Now everything should be better.
Shiny stuff on my sweater is already breaking off.
So Spider-Man. Let's get away from Florida drivers and talk about New York.
Spider-Man.
I want to go back to New York.
No, you don't. No one ever wants
to. I like
to
it
go
a
back
lot
to
better
New
than
York.
you.
Well, then you're a psychopath.
What is wrong with you?
You
visited it once.
Yeah. And it felt like home to me, so I want to go back.
Good luck living there.
I think you would hate New York.
I'm not living in the city. No, that's way too expensive and too stupid.
Any place in New York is too expensive. Not even the city. Just any place in New York.
Outside of the city would be expensive.
The whole state.
And the only place you'd really be able to get normal work, pretty much in the city.
Is there even a Walmart in New York?
Yeah, there's probably thousands of them. There's probably thousands of them just in the city.
No, there's nothing in the city.
What, Walmart wise?
Yeah.
He looked. He wanted to look for a new job.
There's no Walmart in New York City.
Not in the city, no.
That doesn't make sense.
It's a city.
Yeah, we live in a
so's
city
Fort
too.
Lauderdale. So's Miami. There's like 8 of them in Miami.
There's no Walmart in downtown. New York City is pretty much like a downtown kind of area. Like,
Yeah, but
you're not going to find.
there's a Publix in downtown.
It's a small Publix.
That one? That's a 2-story Publix, good sir.
There's,
But no, he's right. There is no Walmart in New York, New York. There's a Walmart in Valley Stream and Walmart in North Bergen, Bayonne, and Westbury. But nothing in New York, New York. Wow. You really looked around New York for a Walmart.
I didn't look around New York. We traveled probably about 5% of New York.
That's not a lot.
Probably not even that much.
It's huge.
Oh yeah, it's massive.
I've never been past. Well, no, I take that back because I
Well,
went to Indianapolis.
Probably not next year, but the year after. I want to see if we can all go to the Comic-Con.
Eh.
There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 Walmarts in New York City if you include Queens in the offshoots. Queensbrook, all the, yeah. 8. 8. I just counted right now in New York City.
I looked up New York City Walmart and there is not even a single listing on Google.
You can't see.
Yeah.
Because
the closest one is Valley Stream.
Look, you see all those pins? Those are all in New York.
Yeah, but not. I'm
No,
saying
in New York City, the city. I was like, there's no way there is not a single Walmart in that gigantic city. You have to drive outside of town to get to a grocery store.
There's so many posts on saying, why is there not a single Walmart store in New York City? There are no Walmarts in New York City. Walmart does not have a store in New York City due to price competition and the city's grid system.
Yeah, I was gonna say I looked up Walmart New York City and there's not any in New York City. They're all surrounding New York City. I'm even looking at the same map.
It depends on what your definition of New York City is. There's none in Manhattan. But
I don't know. I've never been. I call New York City New York. Like there's New York, New York, which in my mind is New York City, New York.
I'll put it to you this way. There is. Hold on.
There's not even one in Queens. Or I don't know.
They're further over from Queens. They're, I guess, on Long Island.
There's a place called Hicksville.
No, the island of New York City.
Yeah, no,
does not have a Walmart. That's what I'm talking about.
The island of Manhattan does not have a Walmart. But what are your parameters for New York?
Yonkers.
There's a Walmart Kids Center.
What the heck's a Walmart's Kids Center?
I don't know, dude.
No, anywhere like, oh wow, that's crazy. Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah, there's stuff right outside it.
Speaking of New York, Spider-Man.
That's all like Newark, and what is this other one?
You found new work?
Newark. That's the airport they had in.
There is a Walmart 5 miles from Times Square. Now consider the scale of what is New York City. There's a Walmart 5 miles, as close to this house right now as the closest Walmart from Times Square.
That's a Walmart Kids
And there's
Center.
not a Walmart in New York City?
That's a Walmart Kids Center.
What's a Walmart Kids Center?
What is a Walmart Kids? No, it's a Walmart Supercenter.
No, it says Kids Center.
No, it says Supercenter. I'm reading it right now. What is a Walmart Kids Center?
That's what I want to know.
Wait, you talking the one that's in Hoboken?
Hobo?
No.
I don't know. You guys are saying things that I've never heard of, so I don't know what's going on.
I'm looking at every Walmart on the map. There's nothing in the city.
Again, what are your parameters for New York City? Are you talking about only the island of Manhattan?
Yeah, like everything on that stretch and above. That's all the city. That is New York City.
Well, Jason was right about one thing, but also now proving what we've been saying, right? The Walmart he goes to is 5 miles away, but the one we like going to is only 2 miles away.
What?
Still takes you longer to get there because you have to go back around the highway, go down Broward. I can get to that Walmart in 5 minutes. You guys also don't drive like you're in South Florida.
Legally
No,
driving,
I don't want to take it.
it does not take 5 minutes to get there.
I have never gotten a ticket in South Florida.
Neither have I.
Back when I was young and stupid, younger and stupider, I used to treat 95 as the speed limit on the surface streets.
The way I always yell at people is speed limit's there not as a request, it's there as a mandate, and it should be followed because it's not for your protection, it's for the protection of others. Because if you come up on me going at 60 miles per hour, it's going to put me in a moment of freak out, and I'm going to be like, what the heck's going on? Which could cause me to get into an accident, even if you're not involved in the accident. Like, there's no point in going faster than the speed limit. It doesn't matter. I'm going to meet you at the light probably anyways. And look at you and wave. That's what I do.
I like seeing that happen when you just pull up someone who sped past you just to get to a red light.
I wave at them. I go, hey.
You pull up next to them. It's just like, hi. Yeah. You got real far, didn't you?
Yeah. Man, you going 65 while I was going 45 really made a difference.
So if you're gonna speed past me, don't pull right in front of me right after. Just stay in that lane.
Yeah, those people irritate me.
No, I'm going to do that to you now that you've said it.
You've done it to me.
I have?
Yeah.
When?
One of the nights we were coming home. I think it was the same night I thought I got hit.
Oh, I don't remember. You and I race, which isn't smart.
You and I, or you and him?
Me and Andrew. We don't race, like we still stay the speed limit, but like I try to take shortcuts and stuff.
Like, so you can get there the fastest.
Because like the other day we were driving down Andrews and he turned at the Broad Walk or whatever, and I turned at the tobacco place, the drive up tobacco place down the street. So I meet him. He gets stopped by the stop sign, and I just take a right turn. Right.
See, I never took that turn, but going up to, I'm like, can I turn here? Because I was going to. I'm like, I want to beat you there.
I've never taken that turn either. I was surprised it actually, like, I didn't hit something because I took it really sharp.
What turn?
The one, the tobacco store over there before on Andrews? There's the tobacco store in front of the office Will liked, and then there's the boardwalk bar. It's like a little bit before the boardwalk heading towards Oakland Park. I turn at the tobacco store, the drive-up tobacco store. And then Andrew turned at the boardwalk bar.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's at the end of
the street.
at the end of the street where we turn in. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's not a tobacco store. It's a drive-through convenience store.
Indians.
No, it's not a tobacco store. It's a convenience store. It's just a drive around is all it is.
No, every time I go to one of those,
you kept confusing me with tobacco store. I'm like, tobacco.
Well, because
store?
most of the tobacco stores down here are exactly that kind of service where you drive up to them. And
No,
there's one over on Dixie.
Those are all convenience stores.
No, there's one on Dixie called
them,
like Seminole Tobacco or something. And
No, that's completely different. That is the same. Those are the tribe stores.
No, I know. I'm just saying
those are all Seminole owned stores.
The way the layout of those remind me of that. Those are made
so similarly. Yes, but
I always call them tobacco
these
stores.
Ones over here in like
either way, I call them tobacco stores.
They're just drive-through convenience stores or drive-arounds or whatever you want to call them.
I just call them tobacco stores because most of the time when I drove through one of those, someone was buying tobacco for themselves. So
yeah, but that doesn't mean it's a tobacco store.
God,
Just because you label a thing as a thing doesn't mean that that's
Can you
what
buy
it is.
tobacco from it?
Can you buy sodas from it?
Yeah, but I don't buy sodas from it.
And
I buy
also,
nothing.
the Seminole ones are not just tobacco stores. That is one of the biggest things they sell, but
Yeah.
they are also just drive-through convenience stores.
Yeah, but
where you
most of
can
them
get all
have
the
a
other
lot
things
of
you
their
get.
their advertising and labeling on their side of their buildings.
Yeah,
Just
that's
tobacco
because they're a
stuff.
convenience store. Go to the normal gas station and go
I
look
know.
at their window.
I'm just saying, like,
It's Cool's, Pall Mall, like it's just all the brands stuck to their window. It's the same thing. Is that a tobacco store? No, it's a convenience store.
I'm just saying that like I said, all the ones I've gone through have always been tobacco stores, and I've always been told they were tobacco stores. So I just call it a tobacco store because it's the easiest thing to call it. Because
But it's confusing because it's not what it is. I'm thinking like one of the pipe shops, like, or one of the all the stores that have now become vape stores instead of uh the old cigarette rolling machine places.
Yeah.
Like those are tobacco stores.
tomatoes.
Well, I mean, it is pronounced tomato.
Somewhere it's called tomato.
Southeast Asia.
Uh,
What?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why they said that.
What are you talking about?
Because it's talking about all this stuff. I'm just sitting here listening to you.
So New York City, right? Spider-Man Far From Home.
ranting on such stupid things, though.
Far From
Like, there
Home.
Tobacco,
absolutely
tobacco,
is a
tobacco,
Walmart
tobacco.
in New York City. It's not a tobacco store.
Far From Home, right?
I haven't
Is this
seen it
spoiler?
yet.
Oh,
I
hey,
haven't seen
Jason.
them yet.
Huh? No one's seen anything yet.
No, the other ones. I
What
haven't
other
seen
ones?
the other ones yet. I've only seen the one. Remember?
No.
Wait, which one's the one
Well,
coming out?
you got 4 movies to come with.
No, the new one that's coming out is what? No Way Home.
Yep.
Oh, so
or-
No Way Home, right?
Yeah, No Way.
Yeah,
Home.
No Way Home. It
Far from Home's the one I haven't seen yet.
someone at Sony messed up.
What did Holland leak a bunch of stuff again?
No, Holland's actually they sent Holland to take care of it to actually deny it and everything. But a picture of Daredevil was released from the movie, having a conversation with them all, and I'm just like, yes, finally, Daredevil's back.
Maybe not.
No, it's Sony.
Well,
Sony came out.
This
Is it
seems more
Defenders
likely.
Daredevil? Is it
Yeah,
Charlie
it's-
Cox.
it's
What's his name?
Charlie Cox, the one from Daredevil, the show on Netflix.
But that being said, like it seems more possible because he's also rumored to have his own series soon as a possible reboot for the MCU. Like
Who
he's
is
signed on. No, Charlie Cox.
Holland? Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah, he
he's signed on for a Marvel movie for Daredevil.
Hey, he's the only one that like seemed blind. Mostly because he wore contacts to make himself blind. But yeah, he received awards from like the Blind Deaf Associations and stuff for like the most
because
true
he actually
performance.
worked with them,
Yeah,
and like he wanted to play the character true to its roots, and play like he took it serious that he was playing a person with a disability.
hmm
Like he was representing an entire community of people, and he took that seriously, and he did his research, and he worked with like legitimate blind people to like what is it like? How does this affect you? Like does it really feel like this? Like give me an idea of what's going on.
yeah, he did good. I like him and his Kingpin too, and his character development throughout all 3 seasons was like one of the best.
I didn't like their Kingpin.
That was the greatest Kingpin.
Yeah, but you just look at him and he didn't look very Kingpin-y.
He was a
Because
bald
like
fat
Kingpin
dude.
was, yeah, but Kingpin was always like over the top, like
yeah, but like,
unimaginably huge, and like Kingpin was never fat. He
No.
was just a mass.
yeah, but that's fat.
He was just a wall.
Well, yeah, but you know what they're doing now, which I think is stupid? I'd rather have him come back as Kingpin than them put a guy in a fat suit and the CGI him to make him that size. That's what they're doing in Hawkeye. Later in the show, they've confirmed he's in it. And they're just getting a fat dude with a fat suit and CGIing the rest of his body. I'm
I
like,
don't know about a fat suit. I mean,
no, they're
again,
doing a fat suit.
He's not fat. Like he's a square. He's a brick of a person. Like
Not
Kingpin
his
was never fat.
His front was really fat. I don't know. He's a big boy. Like
Yeah,
he's a
he was
chunky
like-
boy.
No, but he was like Viking fat.
Yeah,
At least
like-
he's not
he
Spider-Verse
wasn't
fat.
he wasn't Blob or what's his was it Blob?
From
From Origins?
X-Men. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like he's not just a big fat guy. Like he's just a mass of person. He's more
Man.
like Juggernaut than he is Blob.
No, because originally he wasn't like a muscle mass. He was just a fat dude that had a lot of strength.
No, but again, it's that in between. It's that Viking fat. Where he's not like the trim swole muscle, but he's just a brick of he's barrel chested. Like
Listen,
the ultimate barrel
when you
chest.
got man titties and a belly, you're fat. And he always had man titties and a big gut like Santa Claus. He was a big fat dude. He just wore suits that made him look skinny. That's why I wear flannels. I tried to make myself look skinny underneath the flannel. Like no,
wearing a sweater.
dude. You can't say that. I know you can't see.
I can't see.
Focus.
Yeah, see, there are Walmarts in
Bottom line is, here's his body in this picture I just found, and this is his stomach. He's like a bowling ball, and like it's just like this. It's like it's just a steady like hill. Like Mario could slide down that hill. Like he's a big boy. But I mean, even in like the original Spider-Man stuff, he was always just a big chunky dude. Like there's no denying he's still a big muscular guy. But like,
well, the Kingpin I remember was
I remember the 80s cartoon Kingpin. He was fat too. And then like even the one in Spider-Man was fat. The guy that played Kingpin in Daredevil was more built than anything. He just wasn't big enough. He just wasn't wide or tall enough to be Kingpin.
yeah. Oh no, and I'm not saying he was fat. He actually kept about the sizes he normally has.
They had to make him human, and I think that's the only way to do it is get a big enough dude. I mean, what's his
You'll
name?
have to send me that picture because like I'm looking at I just googled Kingpin through the ages.
Do you remember?
And I'm not seeing anything that's like a round belly.
Do you remember the fat dude from not the fat dude? You remember the black dude that passed away from Green Mile?
Yeah, the
He,
one that played John Coffey.
he played Kingpin in Ben Affleck's Daredevil movie.
No, I remember.
Yeah, that's more of the body type where he still has that big gut, but like
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. He didn't have a big gut. Like he was just like a mass. Like yeah, there were rolls and shapes, but it was just like his shoulders came out to here, and like from his shoulders down, it was just a wall. Like
no, I've always seen him as a bowling ball. That's always how I've described Kingpin. Oh yeah, the bowling ball.
you gotta send that to me.
I've just looked up Kingpin Marvel, and every single picture of him is just somewhat fat, somewhat skinny, but there's been different art styles. But most of them, it looks like his buttons are breathing for air, trying to not pop open.
That doesn't mean he's fat. That just means he's massive.
Andrew, being the only skinny person here, tell us what you would think.
I don't know, dude.
You are no hope.
Yeah, I've got one picture of him like lounging in a bar room or something where he's like this.
I imagine him now as the guy who played the villain in Dune.
He's also like my description of fat is
I think we're also just disputing what makes fat fat.
Kingpin. Kingpin had like a Kingpin didn't have a neck.
Yeah, but and
He had
It's
a
'cause
double
his shoulder-
chin.
I do love what they did in Spider-Verse, where they literally just put his shoulders above his head. Like, they just animated, like, instead of just making him have no neck, they just took his shoulders and went all the way up here with them. So his head was like in the middle, like on the top of his chest. It was ridiculous, and I'm here for it.
His Funko Pop is just a head. He's like Kirby. Hold on, this will decide it. Oh man. Peak human strength. Fisk is composed almost entirely of muscle that has been developed to enormous size. Much like a sumo wrestler, he possesses peak human strength with 2% of his body being fat.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm not familiar with Kingpin. Is he supposed to be fat or just real bulky? This is a Reddit post. Hold on. Both. His strength level is supposedly at peak, unpowered human potential. So he basically as strong or stronger than Olympic gold medal winning. He's 400 pounds of pure muscle. He was so OP. Dude.
Yeah, and he was stupid OP because like there was no explanation that I've ever heard for why he was like peak human strength. Like he wasn't necessarily a mutant. Like he was just as strong as a normal person could be for no reason.
Here's the perfect way of describing what I've kind of been saying, but not fully been able to think. Wilson Fisk is not fat. That's all muscle. He has so much muscle on his body that when he is fully dressed, he is mistaken for being downright obese in the comics. That's why he can sometimes even hope to hold his own against Spider-Man.
Do you remember?
Because when I wear tight clothes.
Do you remember before my dad finally got the diagnosis for his diabetes when we finally got him to go see the doctor?
Yeah.
Do you remember his stomach?
It's still there.
No. But do you remember like you could punch him in his stomach, and it just didn't move?
Yeah.
Like he had like a beer belly looking shape to it, but
Well,
you could hit it with a bat and it hurt him.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't move. Like it wasn't fat.
Well, think of all the strong men. Most of the strongest men in the world are chubby dudes.
Yeah, and that's what I mean by Viking fat. Like it's that healthy layer on top of the muscle. It's not trim. It's not like show muscle.
Yeah,
it's work muscle. And on top of that work muscle, you will always have that fat reserve, or they just can't make it.
So
your
Andrew,
endurance will be nothing.
Being the only skinny person here.
No.
Are you fat, Andrew?
Absolutely not.
Are you skinny?
No.
Are you fat skinny?
I have some fat on me.
Where?
Some.
It's not noticeable like you two, but...
Oh, thanks. Thanks.
Hang up on him. Kick him out of the call.
That just means more editing for him. You won't do it.
You're absolutely right. I won't do it.
We'll kick the both of us out of the call. Goodbye.
My phone just ring ding ding ding. So anyways, Spider-Man, right? We're all excited about it.
Sorry.
Spider-Man, so Kingpin, right?
I do have to see Far From Home before
Crap, what are we all doing tonight, guys?
Filming.
No, we're ending at 11 per new thing. We'll talk about that later. But you guys want to watch Spider-Man tonight?
I'm down.
I guess.
Get some chicken
I've
nuggets.
I will say
I've got some cash that doesn't immediately have to go into rent that's due, so we can order like a pizza or something. I got a decent tip this week.
If
Chicken nuggies.
Chicken nugget.
I will say, if we do go to see the new one, like the tickets are already selling out.
That's
Quick.
why that's fine.
Yeah,
That's
we'll go see him like a weekend.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
just don't check anything social media.
Yeah.
And
That's what we usually do anyway, is we just go see everything a weekend and there's nobody in the theaters.
I'm not a 16-year-old man anymore, child. I don't see movies at midnight premieres anymore like I used to all the time. Like I'm gonna see it
I never
eventually.
did.
I'll see
I've
it
always been the old guy.
It's
Like,
kind of
I've never
Jason
cared to
to
do
do
stuff like that.
What?
It's kind of impossible for Jason and I to do that now
Why?
What?
because we work midnight.
You do it on your nights off.
I
Like,
get home at
Midnight
11 and then come home
premieres.
and edit for the next day. So it's
premieres?
it's about 1 or 2 in the morning. But
I got
go to
sick
bed,
days,
so-
right? That's how that works in America.
I don't get sick days. I mean, I do, but I still get a point towards me, so I can't really take off. So
Yeah,
Maybe the
that's what
Walmarts
you
in
get
New
for
York.
working to a corporation.
Maybe the Walmarts in New York won't do that to
Yeah.
you.
yeah, right. Maybe I should go work for that kids Walmart.
Yeah.
You know?
Should go work for that kids Walmart.
I was
might-
looking at the official boroughs of New York City, and the closest one to Times Square I was talking about, maybe a half a mile outside of an actual official borough. So by the actual carved city limits of New York City, yeah, maybe there isn't a Walmart within the limits, but there's a Walmart a half a mile outside of the damn limits.
No, it doesn't count. It's not in New York City.
It's still
But in the city-
it's still gonna take you 15 minutes to get to it from the city limit line. But
oh,
but that's just mind-boggling that there wouldn't be one in the entirety of the city.
'Cause
Well,
it's
they-
Like they're one of
listen.
and they're one of the biggest, if not the biggest, corporate store in America.
which is why they don't
Like,
care.
you'd
to
think-
go there.
Yeah,
They
but
already
you
make
think
money.
you think that they would have some big showy shop and building like the super Walmart in New York City.
I don't. Okay, as an overnight associate, we walk the entire store. I don't think you want to walk a super Walmart.
That's where I would hide and have a baby.
That's huge.
There's a movie called
What, you're a
America.
cat,
No, remember the movie where Natalie Portman has a baby named America?
and they were hiding in the attic of the
Walmart? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it had.
Why do you think Walmarts don't have attics anymore?
Yeah, they got rid of their ceilings.
No, my store is a super center, and it's a small super center, but it still takes a while to get around.
Your Walmart's stupid.
Well, all the super centers down here are about the same size, but they're not the big super centers.
the one in Boone's pretty big. Like it's bigger than the one on Broward.
Like
one in
the
Pompano.
ones that are in the cities are only so big because there's so many of them. And like they do vary some of the smaller products between the different locations. But the super centers, like you go out in the rural areas and you find that one Walmart for like 15 miles. That Walmart's the super Walmart. There's one, I think, in Alabama or in the north end of Georgia that we used to stop at when we went up to visit my mother's friend in Alabama. And it's like on the top of its own little hill. It's like Walmart Castle. It's ridiculous. Like it's the only thing on this hill. You drive up this weird ramp to go up around it to the Walmart.
Yeah, we have something like that in Virginia.
Yeah.
It's just a Walmart on a hill.
You live in
Yeah.
Virginia?
What?
You live in Virginia? I thought you live in the room over
Yeah,
there.
you said we have something like that in Virginia.
Yeah, like you
I'm
live in
like-
Virginia right now. I'm just like, aren't you right next to Jason? Like
Kinda
knock
wish.
3 times. Oh, yeah.
Penny. Yeah, see, he's right there. Have you named your room Virginia?
Take me home.
Did you see his confusion? He's like, where did he?
Supposed to knock on that
Where's
wall.
the?
But then I remember his
That's
bread's on the wrong side of
backwards.
where he is, so it's fine.
He woke up on the wrong side of the bread. What?
Yes.
Maybe
Maybe
woke up on the backside. Does a bread have a backside?
Yes, it's called the front side.
Just like one of the middle pieces. Does that have a backside?
Hold
front
on.
side?
Well, you know
Hold
what?
on.
The most important
Hold
question:
on.
Why is your room
Does
smell
a
like Cheetos?
does a slice of bread have a backside is a very different question from does a loaf of bread have a backside?
Does a slice of bread have a
Now, the
backside?
real important question is, why does Andrew's room
slice of
smell
bread?
like Cheetos?
Don't judge him.
I like Cheetos, man.
I know you haven't had Cheetos.
I actually haven't had Cheetos in probably a year and a half, if I had to guess.
Oh, you be
It's been
careful.
a long time.
I might snitch you out to my grandma with all those Cheeto balls in the garage.
At least his room smells better than mine has the past several days.
Yours
My
smells
room
good.
my room has smelled like well water.
Your butt.
Yeah. Just absolutely sulfuric. Just ugh.
Well, we reached that point in the podcast where it's time to go. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'm just kidding. No, but
I have air fresheners all over my room. I fart in my sleep. I need them.
do you spray air fresheners in your sleep? I fart in my sleep, so I need air fresheners. Yeah.
I have these.
Those don't work that well sometimes, though. The smell of those
They
goes
die
away
for
so
like a
quick.
week.
That's why
Yeah.
I like candles, because I like the smell
Well,
of fire.
I cut into them over time to
I
kind of open them up.
I literally have a pumpkin candle that I haven't even used.
I had a candle in the hotel that I don't know where it is.
Oh yeah, I do have to dig out my seasonal candles, don't I?
Seasonal. Okay.
My candles last me a week when I buy them.
I don't burn them that often.
I burn them all the time when I
I
remember
don't
to.
always burn candles, but when I do,
They're
nice.
seasonal.
I burn my tongue.
You were talking about No Way Home, and we just keep going back to talking about No Way Home and never get to
Spider-Man,
what we
right?
actually want to talk
It's
about.
a Spider-Man, right? No Way Home, right?
Kingpin works at a Walmart in New York City.
No, he owns the only Walmart in New York City.
Yeah, and he's the only person that works there because nobody else could commute to the work.
No, so amongst the information about Charlie Cox,
What? 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 You saw? You? I don't even know how to describe what you just did and said. You put so
it's
much
like he
force into
choked
it.
on air. It wasn't even like he choked on spit.
did you see my
It was
hand
just like
do
he
things with it
choked
too?
on the air coming out of his lungs.
I was putting a lot of emphasis on things. Like, not the fact that Charlie Cox is in the episode.
one more time.
So not the fact that Charlie Cox is in the movie, but
Don't emphasize his name like that.
so
Charlie Cox.
I'm listening.
the movie looks great, right? So Andrew Garfield apparently is no longer saying heck no to being in the movie. Like he's now like maybe you'll have to see. They've confirmed, Sony has confirmed that Tom Holland will be in the next 3 Spider-Man movies they're making
They're making a new trilogy.
with Tom
That's
Holland.
what they're calling it. They're calling it a separate trilogy.
Well, it's
Like,
part of the
it's a
MCU
new-
trilogy.
Yeah.
They're like, we still want to make movies with the MCU, so please love us, Daddy.
But it's
Yeah.
not.
Because
pretty
Sony's
much.
like, we're drowning. Hey, we're willing to make a deal now. Hey, can we get some of
Marvel's
that mousy money?
Marvel's
Is that,
drowning in my
is that
mind.
possible? Huh?
Marvel's kind of starting to drown a bit, but
Marvel has plateaued.
still, yeah.
And it has for a while, and now it's just kind of at its point, and we're just kind of watching it stay where it is.
Well,
Like it's not hype and climb like it was before. It's just kind of gotten there.
Look at what's been good so far. So like they've released movies this year. Some of them have been all right. Shang-Chi was actually surprisingly good.
Sean.
Sean, his name's Sean in America. But
Sean.
Eternals was just not. It could have been better. It just was
Still haven't
not
seen
the right time.
You guys
you're
literally
really-
went out to Thanksgiving dinner and went to see that movie without me.
Don't worry, Jason. You're really not
You
missing
did
much.
both things without me.
You didn't.
You're
miss
really
anything.
not missing much.
And then,
It's really not good.
but like all these shows have been really well. And what's the difference? The shows are still telling a story from some of the the original cast from Infinity War and Endgame and everything. So like all the
Yeah,
stuff that's
and-
continuing has been really good. all the stuff that's new has been kind of lackluster, to say the least. That's
It's
why.
also the fact that the shows have like 4 or 5 more extra hours to work with.
Yeah, that helps too. Like Hawkeye, I finished the first 2 episodes that are out, and like it's
I really like Kate
really
Bishop.
good. And the reason you said they should call it Kate Bishop, but the reason they call it Hawkeye, and I didn't think about it, is she becomes Hawkeye in the Young Avengers, which is just Avengers kids. So
I kind of figured that it wasn't a matter of it being Barton's movie. It's Hawkeye or a Barton show. It's Hawkeye's show.
But it has a
Two
lot
Hawkeyes.
has a lot to do with Hawkeye still, and a lot to do with Kate Bishop, and a lot to do with the tracksuit mafia.
Tracksuit. Tracksuit mafia.
But no, Hawkeye's been really good. Loki was fantastic. Scarlet Witch was very interesting and really good.
I did like Scarlet Witch.
What else was there? Captain America Captain Falcon and the Winter Soldier was really good. Like that was actually, I liked that one the most out of all of them so far. Just because like I always liked like the Shield and Hydra and all that stuff. So this was kind of a continuation of that. And of course,
well, in Captain Cultist was like really good to hate. Like
but like they're just doing an all around, good job with the shows, and the movies could be better, but the movies feel like I'm watching Mulan. I'm not saying that because they're all just Chinese characters. Like, just I'm watching Mulan. Like, why aren't these musicals Disney or Marvel? They could be better. They could be worse.
I do still have to get around to watching the new Mulan. But
you watch that tonight?
No, I got to go to bed because I got to take you there, and then I have to work.
But like I do understand what they did, and I think we had that conversation when it came out. Like I understood what they did and why they did it, and it's a retelling of that story. It wasn't a live action version of the animated movie.
Yeah.
Like,
Same with
it's not Cats.
Same with Aladdin. Aladdin was very close, but they did change some details to make it their own, which was good.
I still haven't watched Aladdin yet either,
I'm
but
good.
that's because
No, Will Smith did a really good job.
I love Will Smith. Will Smith is fantastic. I love him in his funny roles. I love him in his serious roles. Like,
Rules.
but I can't. Like, I just can't do that to Robin's memory. Like, it hurts. Like, there's a physical aversion to seeing anybody else do any rendition of that role. Like, it.
Hey, at least it's not Vin Diesel in Cats.
Vin Diesel was in Cats.
He tried to be. He had an audition tape on YouTube.
I wouldn't have watched it if you did.
Someone posted something on TikTok, I think it was, or Instagram, that was like, we should always believe Ryan Reynolds and his improv lines, because like The Rock was like, most of his lines are actually improv, like the good ones. And one of his lines is in Deadpool. I think it was deleted line was so he was like being snarky. Well, at least it's not as bad as Vin Diesel's audition tape for Cats. And then it shows the clip, and then it shows the comment saying, we should always listen to Ryan. He is always right. And
Ryan's clips are as accurate as The Simpsons.
Yep.
Like
Ryan is The Simpsons. He makes things reality.
You know what we should do?
No.
Watch Cats, but put a webcam so we can see your
I will
reaction.
not watch Cats. I do not need to be a cancer patient again.
I will eventually get around to watching the new Aladdin and the new Mulan. Probably the new Mulan before I watch the new Aladdin. But I will not watch Cats.
I will eventually get around to watching
No.
Alexander Hamilton too.
You don't want to see Katy Perry?
Oh yeah.
You mean Taylor Swift?
Same.
Did I show these off yet?
I don't know. The light it burns.
You can't.
That made no difference.
No.
The light it also burns.
But like that's the whole or the primary cast from Hamilton. It's Hamilton up on the top, and then the Schuyler sisters with Peggy like in the back behind everybody. And if you've seen Hamilton, you know why that's funny. I like him.
We still had to get you to watch that, Dennis.
That's what I
Fully.
was just saying.
That's what he was just saying. That's why I was pointing him
Oh,
out.
I didn't hear that part.
Pay attention.
Thanks for listening,
I
Andrew.
was.
If it's not Walmart and not New York, then it's not important to you, huh?
It is important to me. Thank you. That's all I heard.
You were so sassy about it.
Important.
It is important to me. Thank
It is
you.
important to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew, for that
It's my job, and I like New York, so they're fucking important.
Hey, you and I need to start making these again so we can sell them.
I'm good. Well, with what time?
Come on. they're
With what
awesome.
time? With what time? With what time?
I just want a collection of more colors.
I get like 5 hours of sleep because I'm up after I get home from work editing for this channel. With what time?
Keep telling you need to stop burning yourself out, man.
I'm not burnt out. I'm just saying, like,
You
with
need-
what time?
If you're only getting 5 hours of sleep, you need to give up something.
No. I do better on less sleep because, like, the more sleep I get, the more tired I am and the less I can think. I've had nights where I go to church on a Sunday with 8 hours of sleep, and I am more exhausted than when I go to church with less sleep. And I'm less focused. Like, the more sleep I have, the more out of it I am. But it takes me a while to fall asleep either way. Like, I could lay in bed for like 20 minutes and still not be asleep.
You think
There's-
that's taking a long time to fall asleep?
For me, yeah, because most of the time I'm at that point, just lay down and listen to
I
one
have
song.
had
and I'm out.
nights. I have had nights of laying in bed with like I hate the people that will just lay down and close your eyes. Don't do anything for a while. You'll fall asleep. I have had nights of laying in bed staring at the inside of my eyelids for legitimately 2.5 hours.
Yeah,
Just not sleeping.
I tell Alexa, I said set its sleep timer for 2 hours, so she stops playing Pandora in 2 hours. And there's nights where I have to tell her to do it again, and then I listen to another 2 hours of music until I eventually fall asleep when she finally stops after 4 hours. That's why I put YouTube on until I actually get tired, and then I just roll over, turn it off, and fall asleep. But even then, I'm also the kind of person that as soon as I put something on TV, I have to finish it. Except for Baki. I fell asleep on the couch the other night trying to start a new show called Baki.
If there is something that I have seen like a dozen times or a half a dozen times, I can put that on and sleep through it. Most of the time. Like sometimes it still like really catches my interest. And then like I can put documentaries on.
Yeah.
I'll sleep through anything.
Yes, he will. He
Even-
fell asleep in Eternals.
Once I'm asleep, once I'm actually asleep, and we keep having this conversation. Once I'm actually asleep, like if there's not a genuine emergency, you can't wake me up with a bat to the head. Like
I wake up as soon as someone puts a key in that door. Actually, this morning
you wake up
woke,
when I fart in the living room.
I woke up this morning to someone's car door closing. And I was like, someone's home.
Might have been Jason.
I don't know who it was. And then I remember Jason knocked on the door because he left his keys in the house. Because I'm gonna sleep in on Mondays since Andrew doesn't want to wake up earlier to record. So I'm like, I'm gonna sleep in this morning. And I did sleep in, but I was like, I'm still the kind of person that once the sun's out, it's harder for me to stay asleep. Even with curtains and stuff. Like my brain's like, it's time to be awake, my child.
I've always been the other way around. That's why I work nights. Is I'm up at night.
No,
It's
I'm more
almost impossible for me to consistently sleep at night. During the day, I could have just woken up. I'll lay back down, take a nap during the day. It's
Yeah. No, the sun, I can't fall asleep when the sun's out, and I can't fall asleep when the sun's down. So I just can't fall asleep. But
Pretty much.
once I am asleep, I'm asleep until the sun comes back out. And then once the sun comes back out and shines in my face, I just toss and turn until eventually I finally decide, hey, that alarm should be the last one I wake up to. Yeah.
What are you playing with?
Playing with a cable.
You're fidgeting as bad as I am.
No, I just pulled it off my bed. I was
I am bored.
walking my cat earlier.
I'm currently entertained and I'm still bored.
The cat that
Welcome
doesn't
to the
like
life
you.
of an ADD person.
The cat that Andrew
Well,
almost
if you didn't
murdered.
slam its freaking foot in a door,
It's not my fault. She wanted to date someone I didn't let her.
How is it? What the hell does that mean
What?
with it? What? What kind of
She
drugs are
wanted to
you
date
on?
He's trying to date.
She's
Matthew,
trying to
man.
mother your cat and meddle with her relationships.
Listen, my
Matthew
cat.
doesn't even have a
She
job.
doesn't like the tomcat that your cat's running around with.
Matthew doesn't even have a job, man. She doesn't need to be with him.
Chiclet doesn't have a job. Chiclet's job is just sitting around. Chiclet's a
My job
cat.
is comforting you.
What?
Matthew's the doormat. Your problem is
Matt and cat, they rhyme, so let them be together for all of time.
I was trying to figure out where you got the name from, and then I remembered that your room's doormat is named Matthew.
And Andrew is an interesting animal.
It was on top of that doormat that you ran her foot over with the door, too.
yeah, man.
Now she feels betrayed by
Trying to go
Matt.
with the Matt.
Well, listen,
Yeah, they'll be
Andrew,
back together in about a week or so.
about a week or so. Well, we have
Well,
other
that's
things
wonderful.
we
You can go to
must
sleep.
do, and we also have to watch Spider-Man now. So
Spider-Man.
thank you
Spider-Man.
guys so much for watching.
We also want to beat
Tony-
Dennis's high score at Galaga.
Glad you guys have been here for me to yell at them about Walmarts in New York City. And
You were mostly yelling at Andrew because I've never been out to New York and I don't care enough.
no, it's just mind-boggling.
It's not that mind-boggling to me.
It does not make sense.
It makes
Just
sense.
don't go to Chinatown. That's
Think
all
about
I'm gonna
it.
say.
New York stuff is expensive.
It would be as confusing if there was not a McDonald's inside of New York City.
Well, New
There
York
are
has one of the
Pretty much every block.
See, the big
I
thing is
know.
this: is New York. When I think of New York, I think of like expensive, and I know McDonald's is not expensive, but it kind of is. And like
we went to a
Walmart,
Chipotle. It
is
was like
Kentucky.
$20 for what I usually get. Where here it's about 10 or 11.
Yeah. City prices, man.
yeah. But again, thank you.
Which
If you
down
guys-
here, that's like if you go to the Chipotle down by the beach, it's going to be an extra $5 or $6 more than if you go to the Chipotle out by the warehouses.
that's why I deliver close to A1A.
Steak
I do.
sauce. Eat fresh.
Now I want Subway. Well, anyways, thank you guys for watching.
Bye.
Keep Kevin in your thoughts and mind and prayers or whatever. And love
He
him.
gonna be all right.
He'll be all
He's
right.
going to be all right.
And, wish him good luck on his new venture in life of not being in a video.
You make it sound like he's abandoning us, like he's just running off to nowhere.
Might be.
Nah, he just needs some time.
He might be.
He will be back next month, hopefully.
Maybe not.
be back.
Anyways, goodbye.
Bye.